And that's, established business owners, whether you've been in business 3, 5, 10, 12 years, it really doesn't matter at that point, because it's like in the beginning, it's just like, we got to grow. Even in the beginning, you don't want to grow too fast.
Right.
But I think you have more, there are more barriers in the beginning that kind of keep you from growing too fast. Right. But then once you've got all of those contracts in, you've got like the amount of BCBAs that you want, and then you start really bringing in the clients because you probably already had a wait list before you had all your staff in place. You do have to be mindful. There again, one of the mistakes that we feel we made from time to time. Luckily, we were able to rebound. We didn't grow too fast, so we were able to kind of like rebound. But anytime you have that really steep, quick growth spurt, and you don't stop and pause and check in with your values and your intentions and your goals and all of the things, and just kind of reevaluate before you take on more growth, it can just get a little rocky.
Yeah, I mean, there with this business in particular, I find it very easy to scale as long as you have the policies, procedures, processes in place. You can really scale this quite easily. And so the problem with people growing too fast, too quickly is that they don't have those processes and procedures in place. Sure. So like, again, you're doing everything. So you're doing all the billing, you're doing all the hiring, you're doing all the firing, you're doing all of the parent interviews, you're doing all the things, right? Like you're the HIPAA security officer, you're the safety officer, you're the ethics officer, you're all the things all the time, 24/7. And so if you're growing like that, there's only so much of you, right? And again, like this happens at 2, 3, 4 years in, right? And people will come to me and they're like, I'm working 90 hours a week. I cannot do this anymore. I have to sell this thing. I have to get rid of it. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, I totally understand that. But if you're doing all of those things, we have to position this business in a more functional way. So that you can sell it. Because if you leave and you're all the things, this business is going to fall apart. If you can't leave on a vacation, no one's going to buy this. No, at least they're not going to buy it for what it's really worth. Yeah. And so we want to get this into a place where you can scale this business without you being involved, right? And so that's really what I mean when I'm growing too fast. And so I hear this all the time, more often than I think I would like to hear it. Certainly is I started this company because where I was, it was unethical and I was doing things that were uncomfortable and I couldn't do it anymore. So I started my own practice and now I find myself in that same situation. And the only difference, I'm the owner. I'm the one who's responsible for this unethical, low quality place and I can't do it anymore. So like that you just like having it again, it may seem like a lot of work up front and just like, why should I do this stuff? I'm so small. It doesn't matter. But as like, now we're going back to new business owners, right? Like having these things in place where you can scale this without being involved, at least most of it, right? Then you can grow this business in the right way. And that's really what I mean, and what I hear of when I've grown too fast. Because the other thing I hear often is like, Stephen, I've got a wait list of like 20 kids right now, right? And I want to help them all, and there's that want to help so badly, and I totally understand that. But if you're working 90 hours a week and that's the only way the company is staying afloat, I'm not even making a salary right now, Stephen, and I have to work 90 hours a week. My RBTs are making more than I am. But this is the only way that I can do this. We have grown too fast, too quickly, right? And so that's really where You don't want to find yourself. And if you have found yourself there, find a mentor. There are lots of ABA mentors out there that are great. If you need our help, we're here. But finding that support so that you can, the first thing that we typically start off with is writing down your dream job, right? So what does that look like? How much of your dream job are you actually working on right now? Probably none. And so how do we get you out of this position? And there are a lot of things that you can do to alleviate some of this. Like I just saw a Facebook post literally maybe 2 minutes before we started this podcast. I am in hell. For the last 3 months, I've been wanting to sell my company. How do I get out of it? Right? Like you don't want to find yourself there. And if you feel as though that is happening, talk to somebody. It can be done without those feelings. Right. So that's kind of what I mean by grow too fast, too quickly.
Mm-hmm.